So I'm Sarah Zipp. I'm coming at you at 5 something in the morning here from Texas. I'm an associate professor at Mount St. Mary's University in the U.S., but I have been a part of the UK Menstruation Research Network since the beginning when I was at the University of Stirling in Scotland. Um, so I'll talk a bit about this study that we conducted when I was at the University of Stirling. And I work in sport studies and sport management, and basically my approach to this topic came from trying to understand why girls drop out of sport. So we can see that during adolescence, girls drop out at twice the rate of boys. And there are a lot of factors involved, but there's very little data specifically focusing around menstruation. And we've kind of found in roundabout ways, girls talking about puberty, talking about challenges of menstruation, and that is a factor for their dropout. So we have come to try to do research and understanding of girls' experiences. And I love how this, so far, all of the speakers have really focused. We're not just talking about products, we're not just talking about period poverty, we're looking at menstrual health in a holistic way, and particularly in sport and understanding that girls are using their bodies. It's about how their bodies feel that makes them feel willing to engage in sport. So this is about well-being and health. It is also about talent development and performance. I don't focus specifically on the physiology and training elements. There are people that are doing that type of research at elite levels. Um, the research we're doing is really focused on the adolescent girls' experience, and it's focused on how to provide better supportive systems and structures, particularly through coaches. So what we're really trying to understand is how do those girls and athletes that are in the top picture there playing rugby, how do they have every opportunity to continue to pursue their dreams and their interest in sport to become those women and adults who are playing their sport? And that happens to be Ruby Tui. She's a superstar from New Zealand. The last thing I'll add on this is that as I'm a researcher, I'm a teacher, I'm also the mother of two adolescent girls in sport. So this is my whole world at this moment. And this study was conducted with Anna Gurevich as a part of her master's thesis at the University of Stirling, and has been accepted for publication. So we're excited for that. And includes 500 athletes and coaches, which is one of the largest studies that I've seen so far that is not focused specifically on physiology. So next slide, please. Okay, so what we found, some of these, the symptoms are pretty predictable about, people's physical experiences. Some of the, variations that happen based on different body types, different individual experiences, and different sports had different experiences too, where we saw, people that were involved in swimming had different challenges versus people in sports like football. But the main thing is, it's very, very clear, and this confirms a lot of other research, that athletes are impacted by their menstrual cycle, and they are impacted mostly in a negative way. So you can see that they strongly agree that it was impacting their training and performance, and it was in a negative way. And that, confirms a lot of other prior research. Last slide, please. Thank you. So, but what's interesting about this is, and particularly in sport where we study all of the things that might shave a few seconds off your time or improve your performance in very little minute ways that can make the difference between getting first and second. So we know very clearly that athletes are impacted by menstrual cycle. However, they don't talk to their coaches. So you can see in that slide that athletes do agree that it's important that their coaches understand their menstrual health, and they don't feel that they do. They don't feel that they have open conversations. So what we are seeing with adolescent girls in particular, and adolescent athletes that play sport for girls, regardless of their gender identity, is that coaches can help. So what we're seeing is that there's sort of this protection of each other's privacy, where the athletes feel like they don't want to embarrass the coach doesn't want to invade privacy, but that doesn't there's no room in there for just basic menstrual health education. So my takeaway from this and on our conclusions from this is that we need to see this as a duty of care. So teachers, coaches, PE teachers should see that understanding menstrual health is part of their duty of care for athletes, and we need to increase knowledge on menstrual health education. And in a policy way, there are sport governing bodies such as international federations or national governing bodies that can and should implement new curriculum and guidance for coaching education. We don't have a systematic way of training coaches about the basics of menstrual health and how they can support their athletes. There are a lot of new resources coming out from major, sporting goods manufacturers like Nike and Adidas. The program that I'm working with is called Power to Play, period. And these are really useful tools and resources. We should have them in a comprehensive way, particularly for coaches of adolescents. And there is in the
Sarah, that
US
was
and
your
mostly
timer
in the,
just there. So could you just come
okay,
to a close? Yeah.
yeah. So it also is just the last point I wanted to make is that about 60% of coaches of adolescents in girls sport are male, and that's also a further challenge. So thank you.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry to cut you off a little bit.
That's okay. It's okay.